In October 2015, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency received a phone call from an unknown number. The caller sounded young, possibly a teenager. He told John Brennan, the man running the most powerful intelligence organization on the planet, that he had hacked into the CIA's entire system. Any other person receiving that call would have laughed and hung up. Oh, but John Brennan was not any other person. He was the director of the CIA. The fact that someone had his personal mobile number at all was already a serious security breach, and within minutes of that call ending, it became horrifyingly clear that the teenager was not bluffing. This is the story of two kids who hacked the CIA, humiliated the most powerful government on Earth, and walked away with the personal information of 20,000 FBI agents and 9,000 Department of Justice employees. One of them was 15 years old. Neither of them had a college degree. Welcome to World Unveiled. Tonight, we tell you the story that every intelligence agency in the world wishes had never happened. To understand how this was possible, you need to understand who these two people were and how they found each other. The first is a boy from Leicester, England, who called himself Kraka. He had built a hacking community called Krakas with attitude. He was not a sophisticated programmer in the traditional sense. He did not write complex code from scratch or exploit deep technical vulnerabilities in government infrastructure. What Kraka had was something more dangerous than technical skill. He had patience, creativity, and an almost complete lack of fear. The second is a boy from Virginia, USA, who called himself Default. His entry into hacking came through video games. Starting around 2008, he began modifying the programming of online games like Counter-Strike, changing the rules of the game to guarantee his own victory. What most people called cheating, Default called learning. He was teaching himself, entirely through the internet, how systems worked and how they could be manipulated. His inspiration came from Anonymous, the hacking collective that had become famous in 2008 for defacing major websites and publishing political messages on them. Default watched what Anonymous was doing and decided he wanted to do something bigger. Default did not stay small for long. His first significant hack targeted a medical college in Canada whose computer had appeared inside a botnet, a network of infected computers controlled remotely by the hacking group Anonsec, which Default had joined. He accessed the college's financial records, found that the institution had over $9 million in outstanding student payments, and deleted those records entirely from the college's system. The institution's entire financial management collapsed overnight. He had done it out of curiosity and mischief. His second hack was done out of rage. In 2014, the Danish government passed a law permitting sexual acts with animals. Default owned a dog that he loved deeply. He was furious. Working with his group, he hacked the official Danish government website and published a message visible to anyone who visited it, asking whether visitors were aware that their government permitted the abuse of animals. He then used the botnet to shut down every website that had been created in support of the legislation. The pressure became so severe that the Danish government reversed the law the following year. Default had changed national policy from his bedroom. The problem was that Anonymous received the credit publicly. Default had done the work. Someone else got the recognition. He decided that would never happen again. The event that brought Kraka and Default together was Edward Snowden. In 2013, Snowden, a computer intelligence consultant working for the National Security Agency, revealed to the world that the CIA was secretly collecting the personal data of every internet user without their knowledge or consent. The revelation caused global outrage. People who had never previously cared about digital privacy suddenly understood that their private communications, their location data, their browsing history, everything they did online was being stored and analyzed by an agency they had never interacted with and never given permission to. Kraka and Default connected over this shared anger. Default wanted to punish the American government for destroying the privacy of its own citizens. Kraka wanted to punish America for its military operations in Gaza and across the Middle East. Their target was the same, the CIA. Their mission was to make the CIA feel exactly what it felt like to have your private information taken without your consent and exposed to the entire world. They began with a smaller target to test their methods. They obtained the personal phone number of James Clapper, the Director of National Intelligence, and published it publicly online. Anyone who searched for it could find it instantly. This was a signal, a warning, a demonstration that the most sensitive information about the most powerful intelligence officials in America was not as protected as those officials believed. Then they set their sights on John Brennan. Kraka searched online for Brennan's details and found a public phone number registered to Verizon, one of America's largest mobile operators. He then called Verizon's internal technical support team, pretending to be a Verizon employee dealing with a customer account issue. When the Verizon team asked him to verify his identity with a PIN code, he already had it, obtained through earlier research. Verizon's team, satisfied with the verification, shared John Brennan's personal account details with the person they believed was their own colleague. Kraka now had Brennan's account number, his backup mobile number, his home address, and the last 4 digits of his bank card. With those 4 digits and the account number, he contacted Brennan's email provider, answered the security questions, and gained complete access to the CIA director's personal email account. Inside that account was everything. Top secret documents, the personal information of other CIA officers, including their social security numbers, internal government instructions, classified operational details. Kraka downloaded everything before Brennan even realized what had happened. When Brennan finally shut down the account, it was already too late. Kraka began releasing the documents publicly, one by one. The effect on America was immediate and catastrophic. The CIA's most sensitive personnel information was appearing on social media. The agency that prided itself on protecting the identities of its officers, an agency so secretive that the Starbucks inside CIA headquarters did not write names or logos on coffee cups to prevent any trace of agent identity from leaving the building, was watching its entire personnel database go public. A few days after the call to Brennan, Kraka and Default escalated further. They published the personal information of 9,000 Department of Justice employees. Then 20,000 FBI agents, names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, all of it posted online and available to anyone who wanted it. The FBI and CIA launched urgent investigations. They had nothing. No trace, no lead, no suspect. Default had been operating through a satellite connection installed far from his home, linked back to his house through a private network. His computer took 30 minutes to boot because of the layers of security he had built around it. He had been invisible for years. He would have stayed invisible forever if not for one mistake. Default got drunk, and when he was drunk, he told a friend. He told a friend that he was the person behind the CIA hack. That friend talked. Within days, the FBI raided Default's home and arrested him. Under interrogation, Kraka's name emerged. British police were contacted, and Kraka, whose real name was Kane Gamble, was arrested in Leicester. Default's real name was Justin Gray Lieberman. Because of his age, Kane Gamble received a 2-year sentence. Justin Gray Lieberman, who had not been directly involved in the CIA hack itself, but had been central to the broader operation, received 5 years. Both of them are free today. Both of them are building careers in cybersecurity. 2 teenagers from opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean who had no formal training, no government resources, and no institutional backing managed to humiliate the CIA, the FBI, and the Department of Justice simultaneously. They did it with patience, creativity, and a phone call to a customer service team. The most expensive intelligence apparatus in human history was defeated not by a sophisticated cyber weapon or a state-sponsored attack. It was defeated by a teenager pretending to be a telephone company employee. This is World Unveiled. Subscribe, because the most unbelievable stories are always the ones that actually happened.